Hello, our video today is about idioms. You may have never heard the term idiom before, but I can guarantee it's probably something that you've encountered in your life or on your day-to-day conversations with other people. So let's get started. What is an idiom? An idiom, defined by the Cambridge Dictionary, is a group of words in a fixed order that have a particular meaning that is different from the meanings of each word on its own. It's quite a wordy definition that might not have helped you to understand what we're talking about, so maybe an example of an idiom would be helpful. So, to have bitten off more than you can chew. This is an idiom that means you've tried to do something which is too difficult for you. If we took that idiom literally, it wouldn't make much sense. It's very rarely that people bite off more than they can chew, unless it's something really nice. It's something we use to describe if we've taken on something and we've underestimated how difficult it will be, and therefore we can't do it, and we say, I've bitten off more than I can chew with this one. It's nothing to do with how much you can fit in your mouth. So that's an example of a common one, but there are many other idioms that you may already be aware of. So it's quiz time. Let's have a look and see how many you recognise. On the screen, there are 5 images that all represent common idioms used in the English language. What I'd like you to do now is pause this video and see if you can work out what each picture represents in terms of its idiom. Okay, pause the video. Let's go through these idioms then and see what we can figure out. Let's have a look at this one first. This person has got ice cubes on their feet. Now, the idiom we would describe with this would be to have cold feet. Its context is usually someone who's nervous about something, someone who has made a decision and then is regretting it. Usually involved with people getting married, you'll say, oh, they've got cold feet because someone's nervous about entering into it. But that is a common idiom that's used for that. This one here, dog is barking up the empty tree, the squirrel's in the other one. So we would say barking up the wrong tree. And the context that we would use for that, you're not literally barking up a tree. It's usually someone who has formed a conclusion that perhaps is going in the wrong direction or is trying to find something out and again has taken a wrong turn. So we'd say, oh, you're barking up the wrong tree there. This one here, one that I've heard a few times in my lifetime, as mad as a cat in a bag. An angry cat in a bag usually describes someone who's exhibiting erratic behaviour or something that people perhaps can't make sense of, think it's perhaps something they can't explain. You'd say it's mad as a cat in a bag. This one here, I like this one, turning over a new leaf. Usually signifies a new start, doesn't mean you're actually walking around turning leaves over. Can be, hear it very often in January when people are making resolutions. I'm turning over a new leaf this year. I'm perhaps going to drink less coffee. I'm going to drink less, eat less. It's usually starting a better habit. It's usually associated with a positive change. And finally, this one possibly my favourite just because I love pictures of dogs. We would say as sick as a dog. Now, when we say as sick as a dog, we're not saying that we feel like a dog feels when they're sick. It's a term to say that you just feel really, really off. Context-wise, as sick as a dog, for me, is normally associated with people that are perhaps overindulged. So be that they've eaten too much or they've drank too much, but that's usually when you would hear the context of that idiom being used. Idioms can be found in lots of other cultures and languages. Here are a couple of ones that I know in German and Polish, but I know there are plenty more that exist. If you know any, please do pop them in the comments and give me the translation of what they mean, because I really do like an idiom. So let's have a look at a German one. The German idiom is die Katze in Sack kaufen. Apologies, my German probably isn't as good as it could be. The literal translation of this is to buy a cat in a sack, and we would use it in the context of meaning you've bought something without checking it first. So that's a common one that you'd find in German. I believe that one, the idea of a cat in a sack, is used in different languages as well, but obviously the language changes. Another one is a Polish idiom, Bulka Zimazlum. Again, apologies, my Polish is probably not as good as it could be. And its literal translation is bread with butter. So, you would not say it's literally bread with butter. But what it means is not a problem, it's easy. So if someone asks you to do something and you're going to say, oh, no problem, that's easy, you'd say, Ukazy Muslim. So that's something that's common in Polish language. As I said, there's plenty of idioms. I know there's more idioms in English that I've not mentioned in this one, and there are plenty in different languages. So I really would, if you could share any in your comments, I would love to see them, because, as I say, idioms are a really good part of language that we use that literally make no sense whatsoever, but once they're used, you get an idea of what one means. If you've got any other questions about idioms, please do speak to your tutor or contact your assessor, who'd be happy to help you. And I'll see you next time.